Hey everyone, and welcome back to another tutorial video. So, gotta say, I was kind of surprised with the last tutorial video that I actually liked making it. Wasn't 100% sure if I would actually enjoy doing that kind of thing, but I did. So, here I am with my next base scheme that I do. Now, I've mentioned before, I'm not going to show off my Necron one. And I have a couple more base schemes I have planned, and a couple more that I still need to figure out. But this is the one that goes under my 1,000 Suns. So, the theme for this was obviously to be very Tzeentch-y. So, just a few steps I'm going to show you. This is actually a far easier base scheme to make than the one I do for my Astral Drakes. Not far simpler, but it's simpler nonetheless. So, first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to show you guys all the tools and paints and stuff that I used to achieve this scheme. And here we have almost everything I use. Now, as you saw in the first tutorial video, I'm not putting the primer in these because it just, honestly, the primer doesn't really matter. I know a lot of people like to make a big deal out of which primer you use, but like, it honestly doesn't really matter. The differences are so minute that unless you're going for competition quality models, it's really not going to matter. And even then, you could probably get away with not caring about the primer you use. Color-wise, that is. But yeah, so, just like with my Astral Drakes, I use Black Lava Asphalt from Vallejo. I actually really fucking like this texture paint. It's nice and gritty with different colors. It can look like asphalt. You can have it look like dirt or sand. You can have it look like a fucking destroyed earth. Like, you can do a lot with this paint. So, with this texture paste. So I highly suggest everybody try to get one of these. Honestly, all the Vallejo texture pastes are really good from what I've used, because like I said, I use this one, I use the sand one, and I use the snow one, and they're all great. But yeah, for paints, I use Pro Acryl's Blue Black, let me change that order, Royal Purple, and Magenta. For the tufts, I use Green Stuff World's Purple to Blue Alien Grass. I really like this one. What is it? Gamer Grass has one too, but this is the Green Stuff World one. I actually have both. These tufts are a little bigger, and I like the going from pink to blue, whereas the Gamer Grass one is blue to pink. I like these a little better, but honestly, either work. And then for the brushes, we have my texture stick. Same one from the last video. This side I usually use for grabbing out the piece, and this side for spreading it all over the base. We got medium base brush, this synthetic medium base brush from Citadel. It's a nice simple brush. Not one I care about, so you'll see like, oh, there's a bunch of paint caked on it, in it. Yeah, I don't care. This is a brush. This is one of the brushes that's just, fuck it, just slap shit on. And then for my dry brushing, I use a makeup brush. I have no idea what brand this is. My fiance, she got like a makeup set, and she had a couple of makeup brushes that she was just never going to use, so I got 2 of them. And they're great for dry brushing. But yeah, so if you'll give me 1 minute, I'll bring you back to the first step of this base scheme. 1 moment. Alright, so first step is obviously priming the base. Now, I know I did just say a minute ago that the color does not matter that you prime it, but I do prefer to try to have a primer that's as close to the color of the main color as I can, just for ease of painting, less coats, less chance of it not covering well. So For these bases, I start with a McCrag blue spray. This would probably equally work with a black spray, but since the base color is a blue, I went with McCrag blue. Okay, on to the next step. Alright, and the first step is base coating. So, as you can see, I put the paint right next to it. For this, I use Pro Acryl's Blue Black. It's a nice, really dark blue. Again, it's almost black. That creates a great base coat, nice natural shadows, and it'll allow the highlighting to really work well with the next colors. When I was first doing this, I kind of debated on whether or not I should use blue black or dark blue from Pro Acryl, but ultimately I decided I'd rather have the much darker base coat. But yeah, so on to the next step. Alright, and next is the first highlight. Now, you could probably get away with skipping this highlight, but I like it. Now, it's not very easy to see on this camera and this light, mostly on this camera, but this has been highlighted with a dry brush of Royal Purple from Pro Acryl. Just to get the difference, there you can tell, like, oh, okay, yeah, purple has been added. Purple has been added. And again, it's much more apparent in real life, but it just creates nice, really nice layer over the blue. And again, I achieved this with Royal Purple from Pro Acryl. It's a nice, vibrant, and saturated purple. It works really well for Tzeentch stuff. But on to the next step. Alright, and for the final highlight, I use Pro Acryl's Magenta. Again, it might not be very easy to see until I put it next to the previous step with the Royal Purple. And you say, oh, okay, yep, there's definitely brighter highlights up there. But yeah, if you wanted to skip the Royal Purple and went straight to Magenta, that would still work. I just liked a little bit of extra volume doing the Royal Purple ads. What is this? Sorry about that. I just noticed there was random dried paint in my shot. But yeah, so on to the last step. One moment. And we're back to the first base. So with this one, the only real difference is now I've added the grass tufts. Again, this is for Thousand Suns. I don't actually have models for this one right now. These will eventually, I'll just stick rubric marines on this. But again, they are space marines still, even if they are chaosy. So, usually 2 feet on the outside, or towards the outside. And you can model around that. For this, I decided to put 2 grass tufts on one side, just because I don't really do that often. I thought it'd be nice. But yeah, overall this is a really simple base scheme to do, and I really like how it looks. I promise you it looks better in real life than on camera. But if you give me a second, I'm going to do the final shot. Be right back. Alright, and we now have a nice little progression here. So, while you take a look at that, just let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Anything you might do differently. But yeah, I'm just going to do a quick little overview. We got, starting with the texture paste and priming it onto the initial base coat, to the first highlight, to the second highlight, and to things like the grass tufts. Also, forgot to mention, for my bases, I did the base color as just black. I used a Vallejo model color 950. But yeah, so that's the only tutorial. This is the last tutorial I have planned. I do have plans for a base scheme for my orcs. Once I have everything I need for that, I will do a base scheme for that as well. But yeah, so on Tuesday you can expect another hobby vlog. Won't have everything I hoped, but I'll still have a good amount to show. But yeah, so again, just let me know what you guys think. Check out the description. I have linked my Instagram there. And thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.